Singing in the Dark is the title of my new album, an exploration of creativity, suffering, and the pursuit of happiness. One of my earliest memories is of dancing to some very deep, sad classical music, and I come from a culture whose finest songs are melancholic. So it's always fascinated me that the act of listening to certain kinds of music that are often characterized as sad allows people to feel emotion in a positive way.
With depression's angel,
and then I read Kay Jamison's book, Touched with Fire, Manic Depressive Illness and the Artistic Temperament, which explores the lives of great poets who lived with mental illness and how their bouts of mania or depression gave them insight into the human condition, which they expressed through their writing. It was then that I decided to work with the subject of madness and set music to lyrics by poets who were writing, for the most part, through the lens of depression, mania, and substance abuse. And so began my search for works which I felt would flow well as songs, from poets such as the anonymous poet of the Irish Buile Chuimhne or Mad Sweeney, Theodore Rothke, Gwendolyn Brooks, Anne Sexton, Hayden Carruth, Gwyneth Lewis, Nuala Ní Dhomhnaill, and I've included songs from people like John Dowland, Violetta Parra, and of course Leonard Cohen. Anne Sexton started writing poetry when her therapist recommended she try it. She was about 28 at the time. In her poem Her Kind, which on the album is titled A Woman Like That, she talks about trying to balance motherhood and a career, as well as the difficulty of finding social acceptance because of her manic episodes.
I have gone out, a possessed witch, haunting the black air, braver at night, dreaming evil. I have done my hitch over the plain houses, light by light. Lonely thing, 12-fingered, lonely thing, 12-fingered, out of mind, out of mind. A woman like that, a woman like that, a woman like that is not a woman quite. I have been her kind.
There's a song from John Dowland called In Darkness Let Me Dwell. And Dowland, well, he's the prince of melancholy. It's thought that he was born just outside Dublin, and he was one of the greatest composers, singers and lutenists of his time.
Let me dwell. The ground shall sorrow, sorrow be.
Theodore Rothke saw God in nature, and it helped him understand himself. He grew up in Saginaw, Michigan, and worked as a boy in the large greenhouse owned by his father and uncle, who were market gardeners. They both died when he was 15, his uncle by suicide.
In a dark time the eye begins to see. I meet my shadow in the deepening shade. I hear my echo in the echoing wood. A lord of nature weeping to a tree. A lord of nature weeping to a tree. I live between the heron and the wren, beasts of the hill and serpents of the dead.
Another book that inspired me in the making of this album is Lewis Hyde's The Gift. While it looks at gift exchange through time and different cultures, it traces the history of the development of the market economy and is a particularly interesting book to be reading at this time. In another sense, it's a look at humanity and how we've placed value on certain things and somehow taken value away from aspects of humanity that are invaluable. For me, this connects strongly with the theme of Singing in the Dark, the value of art and of human relationships. There's a huge stigma about mental illness. And when I was growing up in Ireland, I was very conscious of that. It's something that doesn't get talked about enough. I made Singing in the Dark because I wanted to sing about it.
Offering, there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in.